Unfortunately, it is so clear, just like the Republicans on the federal level, they are not interested in doing what's right. They are interested in serving one person, and that's Donald Trump. Unfortunately, they could care less what their constituents say. We know that they had all of these town halls, and I'm calling them town halls because they didn't have the bill.
In just 36 seconds, Donald Trump slammed his fist on the podium and mocked Jasmine Crockett, calling her too dumb to lead. But Jasmine didn't flinch. She stayed calm, reaching into her bag and pulling out a red sealed envelope from the University of Houston Law Center. She placed it on the table without opening it, a gesture that spoke volumes. Trump continued his attacks, dismissing her as a low IQ radical.
We really don't need low IQ. Between her and Crockett, we're going to give them both an IQ test to see who comes out best. Now, I took my test. I took a real test.
But Jasmine remained composed. She wasn't there to fight on his terms.
President Trump himself on another network criticized you and called you a low IQ individual. What was your reaction to that? And what do you say to that?
He's such a loser. You know, and I say that and I'm laughing, but I really do believe that he's a loser.
She wasn't there to argue about IQ tests. Instead, she simply said, "I don't take dares from men who sealed their own transcripts in 1999. The audience shifted, and for the first time that night, the power dynamics changed. Jasmine wasn't defensive. She was confident and steady, and that rattled Trump. Trump, clearly flustered, taunted her further, challenging her to prove her intelligence. He suggested a live IQ test, but Jasmine didn't bite. She responded with a simple question. If 5 machines take 5 minutes to make 5 parts, how long would one machine take to make 1 part? Trump, eager to answer, quickly said, 1 minute. Jasmine calmly corrected him. 5 minutes. The room went quiet. Trump, a man who had built his career on bluster, had been caught in a simple logic puzzle. She didn't need to defend her intellect. Jasmine had already been tested by society, by systems that wanted to tell her she wasn't enough. She didn't need an IQ test. What she brought to the table was experience, education, and a life shaped by overcoming the odds.
Listen, whenever people start to attack you based on things that are not of substance, that's when you know that you're really getting under their skin and that there is nothing to attack. Because if he really had something of substance to say, then he would say, you know what? This congresswoman has filed for this bill or done this or done that. And so she has no idea what she's doing. He can't say that. Anytime that he decides that he wants to lodge an attack against me, it's something like low IQ and actually he has a really hard time. Now he just says my name. They've got this Crockett. This Crockett is what he's...
She wasn't there to prove herself to Trump. She was there to remind America that intelligence is earned, not inherited. Jasmine picked up the red sealed envelope again, but this time she revealed the letter inside. It wasn't just any letter. It was from 3 senior law professors from the University of Houston, praising her legal skills and intellectual abilities. The professors were at the top of their field, and they had taken the time to acknowledge Jasmine's work. This letter wasn't about impressing Trump. It was about showing America that intelligence and merit aren't about pedigrees or pedigreed universities. They're about hard work, grit, and using your mind to make a difference. Then she shifted the conversation. "Where's your Wharton transcript?" she asked, pointing out the contradiction in Trump's narrative. Trump had claimed to be top of his class, but there was no proof. He had sealed his academic records, and Jasmine had just exposed it.
Couldn't read the words on the teleprompter, like he did not know the words, he couldn't read it. I don't know what's going on, but like if we want to talk about something, we need to talk about whether or not he really has the cognitive ability because he is the current sitting president, and whether or not the 25th Amendment should apply is something that maybe we should be digging into. I got a lot of things we could do on oversight, and this just isn't.
The revelation that Trump had sealed his records under an executive legal shield in 1999 was a turning point. The audience, who had once been on edge, began to realize that Trump's bravado was just smoke and mirrors. Jasmine didn't gloat. She wasn't there for victory. She was there to make a statement, and the statement was this. It's time for the country to stop measuring intelligence and success by the standards set for a few and start acknowledging the reality for the many. No more pretending that a degree from an Ivy League school makes someone better or smarter. It's about what you do with your knowledge, how you use your intellect, and how you use your voice. Then Jasmine dropped the bombshell. She played a recorded testimony from a former Trump Academy student. This 14-year-old girl in a testimony, under oath, recalled how Trump had looked at her and said, "You people don't belong in leadership." The room was silent. The clip played again and Jasmine didn't flinch. She wasn't looking for a reaction. She simply wanted everyone to hear the truth. Trump, ever the showman, denied the testimony, but it didn't matter. The truth was out. And Jasmine's quiet response, "If our children can forgive us, can we forgive ourselves?" settled into the room like a weight. That question wasn't for Trump. It was for the audience, for America. It was a moment of reflection. And Trump, who had spent decades deflecting questions and bullying his opponents, had no answer.
Now in January, we'd probably save up to 100,000 lives. It matters.
And they've also said the opposite. They've also said
no serious person said the opposite.
They've
no
also said, well, look
serious
at Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci said the opposite.
He did not say the opposite.
We got
He
a
said
little
very
bit more than a
strongly.
minute.
Later, when Trump appeared on Fox News, he admitted, "She's tougher than I thought." It wasn't a compliment. Truth. Jasmine's victory wasn't in headlines or applause. It was in the moment when the audience and the country saw her for what she truly was. A woman who had been underestimated, who had been dismissed, but who was now standing in her full power. She wasn't there to make Trump look bad. She was there to make America face the uncomfortable truths it often avoids. The systems that tell people like her they don't belong. The barriers built by privilege and power. And most importantly, she was there to remind everyone that intelligence isn't something you're born with. What do you think? Let us know in the comments.